Welcome to Science and Content Area Literacy. I, Christina, will discuss the literacy demands in science. Before I talk about the demands, I want to show you some statistics based on the 2012 Program for International Student Assessment. They tested more than 510,000 students in 65 countries in math, science, and reading. The charts on the right show the 2012 national results. As you can see, America is ranked below the national average. In fact, teens in the United States fell from 20th to 24th since 2009 in science and 11th to 21st in reading. So how can we as educators close the achievement gap? Below is a quote from Secretary General Angel Guerrera. He says that students must be able to know what to do with the information they have learned in order to become successful in the global job market. As a result of our awareness to increase educational standards, we have the Common Core standards. How have the Common Core standards changed the way we view science literacy? Below is a chart labeled Then and Now showing the shift in science literacy. We are moving away from superficial content coverage where teachers teach to the test and require memorization to rigorous content and application of knowledge where students think deeply about what they are learning. Also, worksheets, lectures, and writing only as a homework is a thing of the past. Teachers should teach students higher order critical thinking skills so students can become college and career ready. That means students need to be given opportunity to ask questions, participate in inquiry, and use metacognitive skills. In addition, generic reading strategies are not enough to support students. Students need to learn how to read like scientists, which means, according to the Common Core standards, they need to be able to interpret flowcharts, author's purpose in providing an explanation for scientific phenomena, and discussing, evaluating, and describing scientific procedures and experiments. Last, textbooks should serve as a reference and should not be the core of the curriculum. Pedro will discuss this more in her slides. The Common Core standards require students to become literate in all types of text, including video and multimedia sources. So why are so many students struggling when reading for information? This is due to limited exposure to nonfiction text at an early age. Teachers typically engage in the old-fashioned round-robin reading, which makes science instruction lacking and alienating, and students are mostly required to memorize and answer multiple choice questions. How can we fix this problem? We need to increase student access to informational text at an early age, meaning that preschool, kindergarten classrooms should have a rich library of nonfiction text. We need to increase the time students spend reading and working with informational text. A recent study in reading for information in elementary school said that most first grade classrooms only spend about 4 minutes per day teaching nonfiction text. I would like you to take a moment to read this passage. Which of the commonly recommended reading strategies would help you understand this sentence? Making a prediction? How about summarizing, making connections to other texts, or reading between the lines? In fact, none of these comprehension strategies would result in greater understanding of the content. If you did understand this passage, why is that? Our experience suggests that understanding is largely based on background knowledge and vocabulary. I will first discuss background knowledge. We need to take into consideration background knowledge and how to build upon these understandings. Science needs to be an experience with students working in labs and collaborative groups. Students should be engaged in wide reading, which is a specific time every day to read text on their reading levels about the topics they are learning. When students read a variety of text on their reading level, they have more background knowledge for each text and then will be able to increasingly read difficult texts. Reading in this manner provokes students to ask content-related questions that can be answered by further reading. The next important part in the literacy demands is vocabulary. We need to make vocabulary intentional, which means that every word selected for instruction must matter. Planning instruction around specific words ensures that vocabulary instruction is intentional. We need to make vocabulary transparent, which means that we need to use context clues to solve vocabulary words. Vocabulary must be usable. Teachers should be incorporating target words into their daily language use. We need to make vocabulary personal, and over time, with instruction, students will personalize their word learning and develop sophisticated vocabularies. And we need to make vocabulary a priority, which means that vocabulary should be a part of the daily instructional routine, and there should be time developed for word learning. All of these factors for literacy demands are very important. And next, Pydra will discuss the use of textbooks in the science classroom.